The first two Paddington movies are essentially wholesomeness served to its audience on a cinematic silver platter, especially Paddington 2, which is one of the most difficult to hate movies ever made, scoring an outstanding 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, a score that still holds even after 251 reviews have been logged for the movie. Most importantly, it's Pedro Pascal's favourite movie in the unbearable weight of massive talent. All things considered, I should have been more excited for Paddington in Peru. That said, I couldn't shake off the likelihood that this will be a huge departure quality-wise from its predecessors, if only because of director Paul King's absence. Then you add in the unfortunate departure of Rachel Zegler, who originally joined the cast only to drop out for scheduling reasons, and it's safe to say that I had a middling taste in my mouth, made only worse by the underwhelming trailer. It's fair and even pretty agreeable to say that Paddington in Peru is the worst of the three films, but I think you'll be surprised to hear me say I flat out found it to be incredibly boring. Let's set the stage a little bit. This movie begins with an invite which Paddington receives to Peru, where he goes to visit his auntie, who it's safe to say he hasn't seen in a long time. When he arrives, he discovers his auntie has suspiciously gone missing and sets off on a journey to find her. Thus begins an Indiana Jones style adventure. More often than not, I hate when a series drastically transformed its setting in one of their later installments for the purpose of going bigger or switching things up. Whether it's Atlanta going out of Atlanta or Ant-Man losing its small-scale charm by going to the quantum realm. If the name of the movie didn't give it away already, Paddington in Peru experiments with something similar, swapping out the cozy London setting in favor of the jungle in Peru. Now, I'm not entirely sure if they were motivated by going bigger or to switch things up, or because they genuinely thought this would be the most interesting place to go, but either way, the effect is the same. The feel of the franchise is undeniably transformed. While the cozy, warm atmosphere of London felt like being wrapped in a warm blanket, the jungle setting here can only be described as conventionally adventurous, like an Indiana Jones movie or an Uncharted game. Most unfortunately, the story crafted here is one that doesn't play into the strengths of its title character. Paddington as a character is incredibly hard to write for the same reason Superman is considered boring by most. For the same reason it was impressive that Marvel pulled off not one great Captain America movie, but 3. He's a boringly good character with little to offer in terms of flaws, misguided beliefs, or vices. He sees the best in people, and he always does the right thing. The past 2 movies have played into these strengths by showing us how Paddington changes others, allowing them to see the best in themselves. It's why the series hit such a stride with Paddington 2, because the entire story of that film is built around that singular notion, with Paddington helping others realize the best versions of themselves. The same cannot be said about Paddington in Peru, a movie which presents us an incredibly good, moral, kind character, while having no idea how to leverage that goodness, morality, and kindness as a strength. Other characters grow and realize things about themselves, but their growth has little to do with Paddington in a direct sense. Sure, he brought them along this mission, so I guess you can say he's to thank, but that's the most you can really say. The writers make a point about the fact he doesn't give up, but let's face it, I'm pretty sure 99.9% of cinematic heroes don't give up, or else, spoilers, the movie will be over after 5 minutes. If you want to distinguish your character's willpower from other heroes, you must relentlessly punish them, in the same way Sam Raimi punished his hero in Spider-Man 2. But let's face it, we were never going to get that from a Paddington movie. As an adventure film, the movie is a colossal disappointment. If you ask me, the worst thing an adventure movie can do is to be predictable, because the appeal of the entire genre is a sense of wonder, uncertainty, and discovery, of which this movie has none. Most plot points are entirely predictable, even those which are treated as big surprises. As far as newcomers go, I was very disappointed. The 2 new big additions are Antonio Banderas and Olivia Colman, the former of who had quite some fun with the role but is no Hugh Grant or Brendan Gleeson, and the latter who ceased to surprise me for even a moment. I knew exactly what her performance was gonna look like before I stepped into the movie, which is usually a bad thing to say about an actor, and surely enough, I was right. I feel like I've seen her play this character countless times. The girl playing Antonio Banderas' daughter was incredibly underwhelming and cliche in her teenage stoicism. I can't help but think this is the role Rachel Zegler was meant to play, and I can't help but feel like we missed out on a much more interesting casting. With that said, I can't say this movie is absolutely irredeemably garbage. This isn't Kraven the Hunter or Madam Web. It has its charm, which is an inherent part of the Paddington character. I enjoyed the movie visually. There are some great visual flourishes, visual gags, and the movie finds some pretty clever, funny ways of bringing things to the screen, even a simple airplane flight. With that said, quality-wise, it's a huge departure from the previous two movies, and one which loses so much of what makes its predecessors charming and impactful, even for a quote-unquote kids movie. To the point where the movie commits the cardinal sin of being not just bad, but boring. I think it's time to let this series rest, or I don't know, try to get Paul King back, cause I'm giving this one a 4 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for weekly TV and movie reviews. And if you've had the chance to watch Paddington in Peru, let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. Did it live up to the hype? Is it your favorite Paddington movie? I would find that hard to believe, but I'm still interested in hearing. I'm Cinemike, and I'll see you next time.